You're not stuck because you lack discipline. You're stuck because you're obeying a rule you installed when you were 7 or 8 years old. And you have no memory of doing it. The rule is invisible. It has no name, but it controls everything, and I can prove it to you in the next 60 seconds. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand your own hidden rules, but you'll learn how to stop accidentally planting negative rules in your children. Think about the last time you wanted to ask for a raise or start a business or have a difficult conversation with somebody that you love. You probably felt something in your chest. It was a tightness, a hesitation. You may have told yourself it was fear of outcome or the hassle of dealing with it. It wasn't. It was fear of violating a rule. And that rule was installed before you were 8 years old. Here's how I know. Between the ages of 6 and 8, something happens to every child that will shape the rest of their life. Most people call it maturity. It's not maturity, it's internal legislation. Before the age of 6, a child operates on pure curiosity. What's that? Can I touch it? Can we go over there? There's no internal negotiation, no debate. Energy moves outward. The world is nothing but possibility. Then structure arrives. School begins. Boundaries multiply. Raise your hand. Wait your turn. Don't interrupt. Don't get the wrong answer in front of everyone. They'll laugh at you. The questions shift to, is this allowed? What happens if I'm wrong? Will I get in trouble? What will other people think? And here's where it happens. The child stops asking questions outward and starts asking questions inward. Curiosity becomes a risk. Exploration becomes taboo, and speaking out becomes dangerous. And here's what no one tells you. Children don't just learn behavior in those moments. They stall rules. And those rules don't come from lectures. They don't come from sermons. They come from emotion. Let me explain exactly how this works. My son he had to be 3 or 4 years old. We're walking into a store. My wife and I are holding his hands. He's between us. He's jumping around. He's laughing, completely open, being a kid. Then he saw someone. His eyes got huge. And with pure, unfiltered excitement, he goes, "Whoa, Dad, look how fat that guy is." Now, he wasn't trying to be cruel. He wasn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings. He'd observed something that he had never seen before. And he used his language to describe it. From his perspective, he was just pointing out a truth. My wife was horrified. She immediately corrected him. "Son, don't say things like that. Why would you say that? That's not nice." And right there in that exact moment, I realized something. A rule was about to be installed. I'd spent many years thinking about values, and in my hierarchy of values, honesty is above courtesy. That didn't mean truth should be weaponized. It meant truth should not be punished. Because here's what was happening in my son's brain. He was running an algorithm. An event plus an emotion equals rule. Truth plus speaking equals mama gets mad. Children don't process nuance. They don't separate what you said from how you say it. They feel patterns, and patterns become rules. If honesty creates a problem, the equation will write itself. Connection is more important than truth. Silence is safer than courage. Being liked is more valuable than being honest. From the outside, this looks like the child is maturing. From the inside, the child is being reprogrammed or restructured. So I stopped my wife. I said, "Hey, hold on. He told the truth. We taught him to tell the truth." Then I picked him up and looked him in the eye and said, "You're not in trouble. I'm proud of you for telling the truth." But we don't use truth to embarrass people. That man already knows that he's overweight. We speak truth no matter what, but we speak it from a position of kindness. In that moment, I prevented a rule from hardening in the wrong direction. But here's what haunts me. How many moments like that happen every day where no one catches it? Parents react in half a second and children conclude in half a second. Emotion makes the conclusion stick and the rule gets installed. And it's not intentional, but it happens very quickly. And parents, here's the hard truth. You are probably creating these rules right now without even realizing it. Now, here's where it gets dangerous, because those rules don't stay in childhood. They follow you. I know you've probably heard this before, but when I was young, I heard a verse in church. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter heaven. I didn't understand the theology. I didn't understand the context of the verse. I understood math, though. Rich people plus heaven equals doesn't work. So the simple equation became money equals bad. No one ever said that directly, but the rule got installed anyway. And for years, that rule operated invisibly. Wanting money felt wrong. Pursuing it felt spiritually dangerous. Then one day after I became a father, I did something very simple. I just made two lists. List one was everything I believed. One item on that list was money equals bad. List number two was everything that I wanted, which was a house, a boat, a truck, a guitar, a dog, security for my family. Then I put the list side by side, and the contradiction was instant. What I wanted in life required money, but my belief condemned it. And that's when I realized I wasn't afraid of failure. I was afraid of violating a rule. Because here's how hidden rules work. If money is bad, then prosperity produces guilt. And if prosperity produces guilt, your subconscious will sabotage your success. Not because you lack ambition, but because your internal systems won't let you violate a law without punishment. I had two choices. I could give up what I wanted or question the rule. So I questioned the rule. Where did that belief come from? What did it mean actually? Was it even true? And the more I examined it, the weaker it became. I didn't abandon my faith, I refined it. I changed the rule. I mean, what if I make a lot of money, but I use it to pay for mission trips or give more money to charity or use it to help people? The resistance dissolved. And here's what you need to understand. This is how hidden rules reveal themselves. A belief plus your goals equals conflict. If that's the equation, then you have a hidden rule. And conflict isn't the problem. Conflict is the map or the realization. And you see this everywhere once you know what to look for. I once had a student walk into my martial arts class visibly upset. I asked what was wrong. She said, my husband put his coffee cup where the plates go. Now compare that reaction to something serious like cancer or betrayal or loss. It shrinks instantly. The reaction wasn't about the cup. It was about the rule. Cups go here, plates go here. Somewhere in her past, order became tied to safety or control or love. When the rule was broken, she pulled out her badge and just enforced it. And here's the question, is that rule helping her? Is it keeping peace at home, or is it just familiar? Most people never ask that. They just enforce. And if you ask them why, they'll say, well, he should just know. That phrase is a confession, because no one can violate a rule that they didn't even know existed. Disproportionate emotion always points to a hidden rule. And if you trace that emotion back far enough, you'll find the moment that it was installed. Why? Because emotion is the adhesive. The charge is what made the rule stick. Now picture this, you're a child, and when you started out, you were full of curiosity and exploration. Then slowly, rule by rule, the space narrows. Parents add rules, church add rules, schools add rules, society adds rules. Don't be too loud, don't be too ambitious, don't make people uncomfortable, don't stand out, don't fail. With each rule, spoken or unspoken, the space you get to grow and develop gets smaller and smaller. Eventually, that wide open space representing growth and development and the freedom to explore becomes a tiny little box. Life whispers, you can succeed, but you can do it only in here. So you try and you push against the invisible walls, but you tell yourself you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you're not good enough. But that's not what's happening. You're just hitting the edges of rules that you don't remember installing. And here's the tragedy. Most of those rules were never consciously chosen. They were absorbed, inherited, emotionally installed in moments you've completely forgotten. But they're still running, still enforcing, still putting you in this little box. And you call it maturity or being realistic, but it's not maturity and it's not being realistic. It's architecture, it's programming. And the walls are invisible, but they're real. So, how do you find your hidden rules? It's easier than you think. Step one is you look for contradictions. Where does what you believe conflict with what you want? And that's not confusion, that is a hidden rule revealing itself. Right now, pause the video if you need to and make you two lists. List one, write down what you believe. Write down everything you believe. Start it like this, I believe blank, or I believe in blank. Then, list two, write down what you want, everything you want. And where they clash, you found a rule. And step two, ask a question. When did this start? When did I start believing this? Go back, find the moment, find the emotion. That's the install point. Step three, ask a second question. Is this rule creating peace, growth, and connection, or is it just familiar? If it's just familiar, you don't have to keep it. And step four, rewrite it. Modify the belief or modify what you want. You're not abandoning structure, you're auditing auditing it. Make sure it works for you and there's no conflict. You have the freedom to change anytime you want to. Thinking freely isn't rebellion, it's examination. So expose the rule, question the origin, decide if it's beneficial, rewrite what doesn't align. When the rule changes, the resistance stops. When the resistance drops, the space widens back out. And when the space widens back out, you can go back to curiosity and exploration, and what's possible feels natural again. And if you're a parent, understand this deeply. Your kids aren't just listening to what you teach, they're watching what you reinforce. In emotional moments, rules get installed, not through your words, but through your reactions. Before you correct, before you react, pause and ask yourself, what rule am I about to install right now? Because the boundaries you set today become the architecture, the programming that they'll navigate for the next 50 years. You can prevent rules from hardening in the wrong direction, but only if you're conscious of what you're doing. The only limits that last are the ones you never question. Most people are living inside the boundaries and they don't even remember building the boundaries. And you don't have to live in those boundaries. Find the contradiction, trace the origin, question the authority, rewrite the rule. Because here's the truth, you're not stuck because the world is against you. You're stuck because you're obeying a law that was written when you were 7 or 8 years old. And the moment that rule loses authority, everything changes. Not because the world changed, because the equation did. Now, if you like content like this, consider subscribing. I have a unique perspective on building character, especially in kids. I've done it for over 30 years. And until next time,